Okay, guys, we are at our last two slides for this project, and the last two slides provide you with the rubric in which you will be graded, along with an example using Rikki Tikki Tavi. Okay, so here's the rubric that we will be using to grade you for this project. Notice that there are 5 different areas that you will be graded in: character development, here, evidence, theme, symbols, and language. And also notice that we have the 4 different levels of learning: beginning, developing, proficient, and distinguished. And you will get a total points out of 100. Okay, so for box 1, or your criteria 1, is character development. For the beginning level, you are just providing a general description of Arthur and some events of the plot. Remember, for box 1, you must indicate how Arthur evolves over time. At the developing level, describes Arthur at the beginning of the story, describes Arthur at the end of the story, and does not relate events that caused the change. Remember, if you are saying that Arthur changed over time, you need to make sure that you use those events that prove that he changed. If he becomes more determined from the beginning to the end of the story and changed that way, then you need to make sure that you include evidence that specifically states that. Then for the proficient level, we have describes Arthur at the beginning of the story, describes Arthur at the end of the story, and states events that occurred within the plot that cause Arthur to change. For the distinguished level, to get your full 30 points, describes Arthur at the beginning of the story, describes Arthur at the end of the story, but then you go further and explains how the events that occurred within the plot cause Arthur to change or evolve. For box 2, remember, this is where you are providing evidence for what you indicated in box 1. For 5 points, you are not including any textual evidence. You might just write some information, but it's not any textual evidence. Remember, textual evidence will be specific pieces of information. They could be quotations, experiences, different things that occurred within the passage. For the developing level and 10 points, evidence may describe Arthur or events, but does not support how Arthur changed. The proficient level includes relevant textual evidence that proves how Arthur changed over the course of the story. And for that distinguished level, you are including relevant textual evidence from the beginning and the end of the story that clearly shows the change in Arthur. Then we have box 3. For 10 points, well, you can get 10 points even if you do not accurately identify the theme. So make sure you are including the theme, okay? For 15 points, you will accurately identify the theme. However, remember, we need to go a little bit farther and explain and analyze. So for 25 points, accurately identifies the theme, explains how our character's actions helped develop the theme, identified the theme. For the distinguished level, identified actions that helped to develop the theme, and then included relevant textual evidence to support the theme. For box 4, that's the symbol that you'll be including, the picture. Okay, for 2 points, picture or symbol may not portray the theme. For 5 points, includes a picture or symbol that does portray the theme. For 8 points, includes a picture or symbol that portrays the theme. Attempts to explain how the picture or symbol portrays the theme, and explanation may be inaccurate or unclear. For the full 10 points, you will insert a picture or symbol that portrays the theme and explain how the picture or theme portrays it. Okay? And then language. We are still hoping that you guys can write and type in complete sentences, use proper punctuation, use capitals and periods as needed. So for 2 points, response has so many errors that the overall meaning is completely unclear. Has frequent errors in language mechanics and conventions that interfere with meaning. 8 points, minor errors in language mechanics and and conventions with no significant effect on meaning. And then for 10 points, no errors in language mechanics and conventions that interfere with meaning. Okay, so make sure you do a good job even with the how you write. If you have any questions on your rubric, please let us know.